Great to see you. Scotty again from Smart Tunes. We've got a cool lesson today. It's more of like a demonstration rather than a lesson, and I hope you can learn from it. Noah's here with me, and we're going to get to it. It's the evolution of a line. So if you're learning to play over changes and how to do so, target notes, which notes to target, the use of chromaticism, the shift of eighth note and triplets and different kind of rhythmic figures, this is totally for you. And I hope you enjoy it, because we sure did in preparing this for you. And there'll be some little surprises along the way, because we don't know really where we're going to go with this. We have a rough idea, but you're seeing it in real time when you see us do this. It's pulling from sort of a jazz idiom using a 1-6-7-2-5 progression, kind of like something you'd see in Anthropology by Charlie Parker. Something based on rhythm changes, but the first section of it. But this isn't just for jazz heads. This is for something, rock and rollers. You can do southern rock, psychedelic, whatever you want to do. These techniques are universally applicable. So let me set up, get our guitars ready. I'll get Noah on camera, and we'll get down to this. I hope you really enjoy it. There's Noah. Here we are with the guys with Smart Tunes. We have a big crew that helps us, but they never are on camera. All you're going to see is the two of us. It's a crew of 100 people that they work tirelessly every day to help us work all this stuff out and, make the sausage, make the fudge, make the lemonade. Anyway. All right, so what we're going to do today is evolve a line. And this is over a 1, 6, 7, 2, and 5 in B flat. So when I say numbers like that, it's saying 1 is B flat, 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la is G, or anywhere you find it here. But it's 6, 7. So in the key of B flat, it would be G minor, G minor 7. We're making it an alteration to a secondary dominant, which means it's a 5 of 3. So explaining that is the dominant. Sorry, 5 of 2. Correct. Sorry. So we got 1, 6, 7, dominant 7, secondary dominant going to 2, which is C minor 7, do, re, right? Chord built in the key of B flat on 2, and 5 is the dominant, which is the F7, right? Okay, so I'm going to show you, now that I've told you that, what we're going to do is we're going to target notes that we want to hit out of those chords, and we're going to introduce some chromaticism to make it cooler, to kind of evolve the line, like I said. So start out in very simple terms and then add things to kind of flesh it out. So we're starting with, if you've ever sculpted, like the armature, which is a very simple wire figure, right?
Right.
And then we're going to build it up to kind of a figure that has muscles and maybe more features, so something a little more advanced or evolved. As I said in the intro, this isn't meant for just, playing jazz or related jazz tunes. It can be used in anything where you're required to create a solo, and use it with discretion. Not all the time you're going to be using chromaticism, but even in something with Richie Blackmore and Deep Purple or something, it's this total pentatonic, but that use a lot of chromaticism in that, instead of, which is straight pentatonic, If I go, chromatic, that's chromaticism in a way that maybe he would use it. But okay, so I'm not going to spend an hour and a half talking about that. So what we're going to do is get down to this. So what I'm going to do is, we're on the B flat, we've got a third. So we're going to say third to 5. So we're going to do, right, so you did a D and an F. So it's the 3 of the chord and the 5. So inside that chord, and he slid to it, right? So then our next chord is G7. We're going to go 3, 5. Again, we're doing, right? So it would be BD, right, on the G7. So how do you know it's the third and 5? G, A, B, 3. G, A, B, C, D, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Then we got our next chord was C minor 7. We're going to break with this. We're going to go. I think we did that. No, we did 3, 3, 3, 2. Flat. All right. So we go. So the third minor, third to the 2. In this case, if it's a minor 7, we're calling it 9. So we can say 3 to the 9 or 3 to the 2. Do. If you're wondering what that is, how's that? It's a 2. It's do, re, right? Do, re, or do, re. Catch that D note. Okay, then we're going to the 5, 7. We're going to do a little cool thing. We're going to go kind of anticipating getting to this third, which is an A note. So we're going to go. We're going to go, what would be the 5, 4, 3, of that chord, the F. Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, feelings, anything? There he goes. Anything?
So far, pretty straightforward.
Cool. So we're targeting notes, right?
Right.
So what are we keeping consistent from the first 2 chords? Did you notice?
The third.
Going to the
fifth.
Yeah, on both chords. So it's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like a mild motif.
Right.
It's kind of reflecting both chords the same way.
It's a do-da kind of sound.
Do-da. Yeah. So we're doing, he brings up a good point. This is kind of in eighth note. We're on, yeah, cool. We're in eighth note runs. So it's like meaning that we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So it's kind of like, maybe my count was off, and I'm like, it's like bouncing ball, 1 and 2 and 3 with a slight swing to it. So it's like 1 and 2, and, so it's like, right, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's more accurate counting. Thank you. I'll be here all day. So it's a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's a simple phrase, right? But it's like do-da, do-da, ya-na-na-na-na-na, right? Very lyrical, it works. But we're going to evolve this thing. Watch, okay? But first of all, let's get this in time. So you'll see where it is. It's like falling, I guess I've got a little faster than this. Is that 69?
Yup.
Right on,
69 beats per minute.
69 BPM. Fellers and gals, here we go. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2. Again. So where do we come in? 1 and, right? So we go 3, 4, 1 and. Straight eights, pretty much not straight eights, but swung eights, swing eights to be more accurate. All right, so what can we do to evolve this? No, we'll keep it in swing. So we've got a few things we can do. And what I'm going to do is instead of going 3, 5, we're going to approach the 5th of the B flat. So we're going to approach this note, this F note. And it's going to be an and of 4. So it'll be a little bit of what's called an anacrusis or a lead in. So we go. So it's. We're going to catch that G there. So we're going to chromatically approach the 3rd of G, A sharp, B, ba, 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 catch the root at the top. So the feel would be. And 1 and 2 and 3 and we're gonna go oh, our first tension of the day, getting intentional. So that's gonna be that note is a half step above our root, so it would have been it's a flat 9. So we call that a G flat because we have to keep it true. It's technically looks like an F sharp, but it's F G is the 2. We flat the 2, it's G flat. So it's F G G flat. So we'll throw that G flat. I'm gonna throw it back here because it's easier to go back to my other phrase. Now what we're gonna have to do to loop this is go a double enclosure like from above and below. So it's like wrong note, tension note, approach note into the 5th of. So it's gonna be. Triple it down. I'm gonna put it here, like I said. Take a little bit of a breather then. Triple it, triple it, triple it. So it's gone from 8s to triplets. So subdividing our beats into a cool flow. Ba 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 boom, bee, ba 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 boom, boom, now anyway, we're gonna develop it more. So it's evolving. You can see it evolving. So I'll kick the metronome on again. See, hey, by the way, we're not playing chords below this, but you can hear them, can't you? Because we're targeting chord tones. This is what you want to do. If you can play this a cappella, it tells you what's happening beneath. If we had we don't need someone chopping out like. You know what's happening, right? Thank you. Good night. Thank you. Good night. Anyway, so you don't need to hear any of that, right?
Yeah.
It's implied because we're hitting these tones that are related to those chords. The 3rd, particularly, is known as one of the 2 guide tones. What's the other one? On the spot.
7th.
7th. It's okay to speak up. Our neighbors won't stomp, I guess. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Not like they did.
Maybe not at this take.
Maybe not now. Okay, so. Okay, now what you see is we are illustrating these chord changes by literally playing the changes. So that's what that means. Okay, we're embellishing it now. So we're going to come in the and of 4, which means we're putting it in 8th note figures, except for that triplet coming down from the C note, like that. Into an 8th figure. Okay. So from the top, this is going to sound like 1, 2, 3, 4. I went to the 5th. I'll start on the E note. Ready? 2, 3, 4. Now he did the 16ths. Yep. But he did triplets. See, he was used to hearing that triplet. He went triplet. He could have done it, but he ran. This is a good illustration point. Watch. Mm-hmm. He jumped on the triplet on the instead of 1 and 2 and he went. So he ran out of time. So there's a time is like a grid, and he ran ahead and he got to where we were going sooner, and there was no more time to phrase. So he would have to stall
on the next beat, yeah,
to let the thing catch up. So it's like going. He went. Or triple. It was like triple. I mean, you could, but then we'd be out of sync. So I'm gonna keep the metronome on. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Good. Cool. Off and running. Yeah. All right. So you see how that's displaced. Kind of cool. All right. So we can also sub these chords, which I'll tell you in a minute. So you're not always going boom, boom. Sorry. Let's do the correct chord. Or we can start we can sub the 1 for what? Sub the 1.
Sub the 1 for the
3.
3, yeah.
Yeah, the 3, which is D minor 7, right? So I can go like. I can go. There's the 2. I can sub the 5 for tritone sub. You know, a B7 sharp 11, then back, or a B7 straight. So listen to that. Sounds like a. You can flat the 9 on that. It's like. Then get the. Then go. So we go. So you bury that little chromatic line in your chords, like. That's it. Or I could go. I'll use diminished, a sub for each one of these chords, the dominant chords. So for the G7, I'll use an F diminished. There's the reason they're related, because that spells a flat 9, G7 flat 9. I'm just using a straight diminished shape, right? You know how to make that right? From the F. And then I'm going to use over the F7. Yeah, over the F7, I'm going to use an E flat. And this is so cool. So both our dominants, there you go, are getting the diminished treatment. Watch this. So I'm going, now I'm going to use a 3, right? The minor 7, the D minor 7, the 3 over 3 in place of 1. Like notice there's no root on that chord. It's a B flat 6/9. So you get some variety in there. It's kind of cool. I could throw the bass. There it is. So I made the major 7 into a 6/9. Means this has a, if we're in B flat, our 6 is G, and I've got a 2, which I got a C on top, or in here. See? So I go, there's the 3rd, there's the G, so that's the 6, the 9, the 5, and 1. So the sound is. Resolves. Cool. All right.
Beautiful.
So now we're going to go and evolve this even one step further. We're going to approach a double approach. We can't loop this one because it's such what's called a lead-in or an anacrusis. So we got on a 16th figure. Okay, so this triplet. So it's going to come in with a triplet. So we've just, let's say we changed. It's not really diminution, really, is it? This is something Noah said too. He came up 1, 2, 3, 4 on this because it's like he wanted to approach this B all the way up. So it's like triplet, another triplet. So we got kind of triplet crazy on this. It's a wrong note, but it doesn't matter, guys, because hey, girls too. We're coming up from it's where we're landing. So the chromaticism can have a kind of a goose note for a minute, but what it sounds greasy or something. It's a little drunk or like a little woozy or tired or sleepy, or, it's like, or just kind of fun, greasy. Now I'm going to go right to the flat 9 of G's. Not saying we went, so it has to go of G's. So we've run out of time to approach the E flat of C minor. So we're going to go right to it. Something like that. So it's like, so we're going to go from the top. See? And then we're going to just let it sit there, and then we're going to let the loop come around. I'll do some chords, and then we jump into the riff again. Count 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Nice. How has this evolved from... Do you guys see how this works? Evolve your lines, add chromaticism, tensions, it really comes into focus pretty quickly. Forms a nice picture, a nice narrative, a little. You're telling a story, you know, and you want to express yourself. You might not want to tell a simple story. You want to elaborate about the colors of the grass and the way the wind felt, or not just there was grass, there was a tree, there was wind.
It's a pretty boring story to me.
Right? So if you want to embellish a story,
Yeah.
add
some
color.
Yeah. Right.
Add some flavor.
Sprinkle a little magic on it.
Right,
Why not?
right. Yeah, so let's try this. So remember, we're coming beat 3. We're going to come in on a triplet on 4. So it's like our little lead in, Anacrusis, right?
Mhm.
Who was Anna? Anacrusis. Okay. 2, 3. Let's try that again. On the dominant, you got to come in. So it's 1, 2, 3. Catch it. Catch it on the and. On the and. 3. So you see when I said catch that on the and? So let's do it again from the and on that G riff. So ready? Go. 3. See, notice my head. I'm kind of catching the upbeat. So that's the and. That's what I mean by the and. 1 and 2 and 3. So then we go to a triplet, bone. Don't rush it. Triplet, bone. Right, start with me. 1, da da da. We're gonna 1 count. 1, 2, triplet. So do the whole phrase. On 1. I'll let you do it right. So go from the triplet. I'll give you a 1 count. 1. So 1. Triplet. Don't rush it. 1. So. Yeah, give a little bit of a drag. So it's like. Yeah. Don't rush it though. It's like. Right, cool, man. Really lay that in the pocket. So it's like a little bit of a drag to get to the next part. So it's like it's not. Lay off it, and then jam it in there. It's like ba ba boom boom. Make it verb. It's almost like you're going da doo doo. Like Daliu-doot. I mean, you always think about that stuff. Think about like what it sounds like. Like we've got our Ace Frehley riff that it's the perfect Ace Frehley riff is like gone to Seattle, gone to Seattle. It's like along the going to Seattle, going to Seattle. You know.
More on that later.
You get the idea, exactly.
More on that later.
Yeah, much more. All right, so going to Seattle is you're like kind of like his take on Chuck Berry. Anyway, instead okay.
Which is still equally cool.
Yeah, it's cool in a different way. Or like anyway. Yeah, I made that up. No. Stairway to Heaven in B flat. Anyway, so yeah, all that good stuff. So here we are. We just went to Seattle. Going to Seattle, going to Seattle.
Now we're back.
Now we're back. So we're back to. Get that clean. That's the evolution of a line. 3 phases. Okay? And don't forget, subbing your chords. So 3 for 1 became, so B flat major became, show me. No, goes to D minor 7. So we sub the 3. Right. Because look at this. It's sort of like this whole chord jam, this little grab right here. If we put a B flat on a D minor 7, it's just like changing the context. It's almost one and the same. It's the yin and yang. Remember, it's like the 6 and the 1 have that relationship, the relative minor. So does the 3, 3 sub for 1. And then these diminished chords, let me name these in relation to what they were, right? We were talking about what's our first dominant we have in this progression? The first that appears.
First dominant that appears it's B flat 7.
No, G7.
G7,
We're
sorry.
in B flat major, right?
Yeah, B flat major, G7.
Exactly.
That's
So
right.
it's a G7. So we need to sub this out. So if I'm putting a flat 9 in this, look at the top part of this from the 3. It's a diminished grab. So I can take that down and you really got me. Whole step. Think of is the whole step. Hear that. So from a whole step down is a diminished grab. And we're going to sub that diminished for the G7, using it as a G7-9. Look, there's no, our bass note isn't even G anymore. It's typical. You could think of this as third inversion. So just to be quick, third inversion is 7th in the bass. First inversion is 3rd in the bass. Second inversion, 5th in the bass. Third inversion, G7 flat 9. Pretty cool. Then we have right below it our C minor 7. And then a minor third from that is our inversion of F7 flat 9, which is basically our E flat diminished grab. So we have 7, 3, 5, and our flat 9. 7, 3, 5, flat 9. What did you not hear was in that chord?
Root.
Root.
Where is it?
It's rootless. Rootless cosmopolitans. Yeah, same with this one. This F, you got this B, that's the 3. So it's F7 is the 7. F is the 7. B is the 3. What's this note? The D.
D, which is 5.
5, the 5th. Then what's that note? A flat. Flat 9. No root. Pretty cool. So you're playing a chord that has no root. But it's got so much in it that says G7, like the 3rd and the 7, the guide tones, and plus that beautiful flat 9. So that's all your ear needs to hear to process that. The bass player's got the root anyway, right? The bass player that didn't show up today for the shoot, and our hundreds of employees couldn't even drop him an email.
Yeah,
or
our vast
our text.
staff.
Don't talk about your vast staff right here. All right, so we got this. You hear that? Just cadence, cadential. Look at that up. Look that up in your online dictionaries. I know no one owns books anymore. So. All right. There's your root. Put a period on
Had
it.
to give it to him.
Yeah, exactly. Just give it to him. All right. So you said you want to do this one more time?
Yeah, I think maybe just for the audience, let's give another stab at
Not
that
for
last
us?
one.
For the audience, huh?
For the audience.
Okay. What'd you ever do for me?
Well, for me, you're doing it for the audience. I'm doing it for me.
Okay. Okay, here we go. One. And don't talk about your... Never mind. 1, 2, 3. Triple. Are you with me? Ready?
I'm the ghost in the
2,
back.
3. Remember, don't get ahead of yourself, man. This is a slower tempo.
I can hear it where I fell off.
But you can hear, you're hearing 69 still. This is now slower, see? Guys, if you change tempo, get in the pocket. Sometimes just pick some slack notes like this. 1 and 2. If you're sitting with a band, that's your new feel now. And your body has to feel the time. If you don't, stop a second. If you don't internalize the tempo, you're not in the groove. In the groove, right? That probably spiked to the in the groove, right? You're not in the groove. So it's like something in. You watch musicians, they start doing this. It's like, you ready? And they're already dancing. Dance. You know, you got to dance it. So 1, 2, 3. Right?
Yep.
So let's take it in. 1, 2, triplet in. Lay back it on even more. Lay back. Now get in it. Ready? 2, 3. Come up with me. Right on. Scotty and Noah with Smart Tunes. Rock on.
Tune your mind with Smart Tunes.